Welcome to part three. We're joined by Bob, who we'll be clicking on shortly. Women love him, men just want to use his golf clubs. Sorry about the phone call in the middle of filming. It was Terry Chappendama, a banker from London, originally Zimbabwe, via Sheffield Uni. Big shout out to Joe Gallagher. He has gone in for surgery today. Have a look. 12 minutes past 9. He's just sent me a picture of that. It looks like that. I'm HAPPY. Do you remember it? When he's going into hospital, that 70s sitcom, wasn't it? So I hope Joe's all right. So, uh, Bob,
Yep, I'm here.
what do you think to the DAZN commentary team, Bob?
I think I mentioned on part one, I find them generally annoying. So I usually, if I can, just try watch stuff without the commentary. This past weekend, Andy from Andy's Cavern and I were talking, so it was great. I was able to chat with Andy as we watched the fights together. The commentary team on the Zone is is amongst the worst that I think I remember seeing in the many decades I've been watching boxing.
Well, they've got Super Bean on commentary now. He's wormed his way back in. Him that we're looking to do other things. Barry Jones, who basically won a 30 odd years ago. He won a WBO that nobody even recognised, didn't he? At featherweight or whatever, super bantam
Yeah.
or something. Other one there, Darren Barker. He's only there because he's hanging out at back of match. I think he married Barry and secretary, did he, or something? And who's the other one? Who other one? Puppy Parsons were there. I did hear them calling Puppy Parsons, so they're even nicking my one-liners, but I'm not really bothered about that because it's been going on years, hasn't it? The Gad,
And then,
the Gad of that one nickname Stud, Bricktop name Stud, although Atman thinks he takes credit for that. But no, you don't, Atman. What?
and yeah, Ade Oladipo, who,
Ali Arapido, yeah, well, he's hanging out at the back of him as well. He's one of them company men as well, AD Alapido or whatever they call him. He's not for me. My
no,
argument with people like him and Puppy Parsons is, why have they got YouTube channels and the Gad? And Adam Smith, he's got a YouTube channel now. How can they have YouTube channels when they're working for their zone? My argument is this: it's simple, and Talksport as well. They're there to push the narrative even further. What they have to push in their daily jobs for media outlets, and it's just to push it even further and getting a few more quid, and earn a few more quid off YouTube as well. It's pure greed, and I don't think they should be able to do that. I think there's a conflict of interest. Because how can they go on their YouTube channels and say their bit when they're employed by these other people? Because they won't get work, would they? Oh, that's my argument.
well, I used to be a subscriber of Ade Oladipo. I quite liked his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I unsubscribed a while ago because, for the reasons you really said, they cannot possibly be objective because they cannot bite the hand that feeds them. I also found the way that Adi Oladipo spoke to Alexander Usyk after Usyk beat Fury to be reprehensible. The way he conducted that interview was shocking, to be perfectly honest. So I no longer follow him. I'm not interested in anything he has to say. He's a company man for DAZN and Matchroom and whatnot. Um, the only fellow in the whole DAZN commentary team that was around this weekend that I liked listening to is Carl Frampton. The others, like I say, if I can watch it without the commentary on, that's my preference. And I'm not meaning to be disrespectful to any of them, but none of them are to my taste. I don't like listening to them, and I find that when they speak, my enjoyment of the program diminishes.
Yeah, Adam Smith for me is a company man, and he's done anything he can to get in the mix. But like I said, he knows where all the bodies are buried, doesn't he? Over the years, there were a lot going on at Sky that we're not going to get
Yeah.
to know about. he was signing off on rematch after rematch after rematch. We all know about who was the guy that Tony Bellew rematched? Isaac Chilemba. He signed off on that. He also signed off on Cleverly Bellew, and there's other
Yeah,
rematches that have happened, and people have gone, "Why? How come there's a rematch here?" Because Adam Smith were on commentary, and he were pushing for the rematches, so they all stuck to the little jobs, didn't they? So he's
yeah,
just a little bit of Adam. We'll throw you a crust because we know you've had it tough. Because he's a big gambler,
yeah.
but I ain't got time for Adam Smith. He comes over as Mr. Genuine, but let me tell you this. He's one of the biggest backstabbers in boxing. He got rid of Chris Brown, who were head of Sky Sports. He got rid of Jim Watt, and he definitely got rid of Glenn McCrory. All right. He looks after number one, Adam Smith. You've just seen what's happened. Sky got rid of him. They won't even give him so much as a reference. 29 years at Sky, and he's been booted out at door. We've heard his pony stories about what gone on, and he's managed to worm his way in at DAZN. Backstab more people in boxing him. He is the silent. He's not known as the silent assassin for note. So
Well,
he's not for me. Him. He's not for
yeah.
me.
I
All right.
mean, I know in the UK they call him the voice of boxing. To
Is
me,
that what he calls himself on YouTube? The voice of boxing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
so
Adam Smith, the voice of
like I say,
boxing. Fucking hell.
um,
That where we're
I
at.
like. I'm pleased to see that Carl Frampton has joined that team. I like listening to Carl Frampton.
He's not bad.
Um,
Yeah. He got it wrong
uh,
though at
uh,
weekend, didn't he? With Joyce.
beg your pardon?
He had it wrong with Joyce.
Yes, he did. But you know, I don't expect them to be right. But I like some analysis. I also like, you know, quite frankly, you know, if the voice doesn't irritate me, right? Whereas, you know, the voice of boxing, there's something about his voice that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Just like I'm sure my voice rubs somebody else the wrong way. It's just a lot of it's personal preference. I don't like the DAZN team, and if I could, like I say, if I can watch it without the commentary on, that's my preference.
Yeah. Well, Carl Frampton got it wrong with Joyce. Joyce were not even in the fight. I mean, you struggled to give Joyce 3 rounds, wouldn't you, really?
Well, I actually disagree with you there, Russ,
Yeah.
because uh, again, I'm judging it as the guy who's coming forward. So I'm sort of, you know, maybe I'm giving credit probably where credit isn't due, but I respected the fact that Joyce kept coming forward,
Well, that's all he
even
can do, isn't
though,
it? That's all he does,
yeah.
isn't
And
it?
so I was giving him credit for being the brave come forward fighter. I thought it was closer than you said. You say three. You say it's 7-3.
9-3. You give it, I'll give it 9-3, me.
Yeah, I would give Joyce. I would give Joyce 4, possibly 5 rounds. But maybe I'm being too generous. I thought it was a closer fight than you thought it was. It's interesting. I was on the phone with Andy and Jerry. You know Jerry from Northern Ireland. Jerry was also on our WhatsApp group. Jerry was seeing it the way that you saw it, whereas Andy and I were seeing it more favorably for Joe Joyce.
Well,
It's all
oh, Andy had it
perception.
for Joe Joyce, Andy.
He didn't have it for Joe Joyce. He said it was closer. We're saying it was
Andy, what are you
closer.
watching, mate? You never said boo last night about that to me on here because you know I'd have
That's
sacked you.
that's because he doesn't. Unlike me, he doesn't want. He does. He's nervous about arguing with you. If I
Now
don't
he's
agree with you,
oh,
if
Andy.
I don't agree with you, I'll tell you I don't agree with you.
He's easiest guy in the world to get on with, Andrew. But listen, everybody's opinion. Listen, boxing's a subjective sport, isn't it? I mean,
Well,
but we're in
exactly.
a situation where you've got people like Gareth A. Davis, where whenever there's a close one and it's somebody's like Bricktop's fighter, he always goes on about, well, you know, Usyk Fury. Well, there was a couple of swing rounds, and it depends what you're looking for. I don't want to hear that shit. You couldn't give Fury more than 3 rounds or Joshua in all them 4 fights against Usyk, could you?
Fury Usyk. No, I mean Fury was beaten twice in the first fight. He was stopped and then he was beaten on points. And in the second, I thought it was not even as close.
No,
Yeah.
Fury
So
weren't stopped. He weren't stopped. He were dropped. He were dropped in the
I,
first one. He weren't stopped.
in my view, he was stopped
Oh
because the
yeah, yeah.
referee saved him from being absolutely
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, just like they
finished.
did it Wilder fight in the first when he got dropped twice, and there were 20 odd seconds before play commenced in each one. Was it 21 seconds and a 23 second?
Yeah,
Bob
yeah,
Arum's pet ref. They gave Fury every chance, didn't they, in the first one, and they
yeah,
squeaked the
for
door,
sure.
didn't they?
For sure. But
So
when we're looking at fighting, I mean, I know that there's technical experts like Terry Chapandama will actually be able to score it much more precisely. For someone like me, I tend to reward the come forward fighter. I call it like Brooklyn scoring. So I will see a fight differently than somebody say who's got a lot more technical expertise would see it. But I do think, with respect to the Hrgovic Joyce fight, that the right man won. Hrgovic did win. I just thought it was a little closer than you saw it.
well, it's one of that. It's one of them things, isn't it? Ben Shalom, are his days numbered?
Oh, I would imagine so. I mean, he doesn't really have any allies, right? Bricktop is doesn't really want him around. Um, Eddie Hearn clearly doesn't want him around. Um, he, he's in a way he's too young and too inexperienced. Um, and he, like I say, he needs to be allied with somebody. But I think that yes, I don't see him going very far. He might be able to hang on, but I don't see him breaking through because it seems that the big players in the marketplace are quite prepared to, if you like, gang up on him, whether he's right or whether he's wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I see where you're coming from. What do you think about all this fake beef with him and Bricktop? They seem to be going at it every other day, don't they now?
Well, we had the fake beef with Eddie Hearn, right? We had that going along for a long time. Over the Conor Benn and Chris Eubanks nonsense, and so that little war kept people's attention, and now that war has sort of died down. So now there has to be this new narrative with Frank Warren, right? And so, there's now the new narrative over the Adelaide TKV stuff, and Frank Warren is referring to him as, being stupid, being naive, and all that sort of stuff. So it's to keep people's attention going. It's narrative building, right? Just like like I said earlier on, just like in the wrestling shows, you've got to have the storyline because people's attention, they don't want people's attention to drop off. They want to keep people glued to the screens, as it were.
Yeah, it's it'd be a shame if Sky pulled plug on boxing, but people are saying it could happen, Bob.
Um, I mean, I don't get Sky. I don't live in the UK. I think every time that somebody walks away from boxing, it's really, really disappointing. The sport that you and I both love has seen audience engagement tail off. Whether in the United States when HBO pulled out, or I'm sure we can think of many other instances. It's disappointing. We probably both remember when boxing featured in almost all the newspapers. Now, fewer and fewer, right? Boxing just doesn't engage the public like it used to engage. It's become more and more of a niche sport in many respects.
Do you feel that people like Jake Paul are good for the sport? Yes or no?
No, you give me a binary choice answer. Okay, I'll go with yes, but there's a hell of a lot of caveats I would say about it.
My own personal opinion is this: he shouldn't be let loose in a ring with anybody like Canelo.
Oh no.
You know. Speaking of Canelo, Bob, who have you got, Canelo or Crawford? I've got
I
Crawford,
think
by the way.
I think Canelo is going to be just a little bit of a bridge too far, purely based on size.
Hmm. Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, we're out of time because I've got Jerry on now from
okay.
Belfast. But
Well,
listen,
Jerry will agree with you on Joyce and Hergovich.
Willie, oh, go on, Jerry. I've groomed him, haven't I?
Hey, Russ, before I go,
Yeah.
ask Jerry why he thinks Richard Torres Jr. is like Rocky Marciano.
Hang on. Wise
Richard
Torres
Torres Jr.
Jr. like
Rocky Marciano. He
Marciano.
thinks Jerry believes that there's similarities between Torres Jr. and Rocky Marciano.
Okay. Right, Bob, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Russ. As
And
always.
I'll
Thank
speak
you.
to you again. Cheers, Bob.
Later.
Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. It's important you leave a comment. I want you to let me know what you think about my performance today. And don't forget to subscribe to Bob's channel, Canada's Boxing channel, YouTube, and Andy's Cavern. I think there are only two commission lads that come on that have got a channel, so subscribe to their channel and have a look at their stuff as well. All right, so that's about it, really. It's time for Jerry with his Magnum Tash and his mullet. Go on, peace out.